Do you think Nick Bosa will sign an extension this year? And the reason I ask is because his brother, Joey Bosa, did not sign an extension with the Chargers after year 3. He waited until year 4, which was quite a lucrative decision for him. It paid off. He got a lot more money. What do you think Nick
Yeah,
Bosa would do?
because he was basically what he did by waiting on year 4 is he was able to wait on Garrett, let Garrett reset the market, and then he was able to
Oh,
reset it from Garrett. And Watt did the same thing, right? And so I don't know
yes.
if Nick Bosa signs an extension. I think the Niners would like to sign Nick Bosa this
Hell yeah.
offseason and get it done so that
Yes.
they don't have to have that looming. But I don't think Nick Bosa should feel any pressure to get this deal done because Nick Bosa is resetting the defensive end market no matter what. There's nobody really right now that's due for a contract that's going to do
You
that.
say no matter what, unless he tears his ACL again, which is something he needs to calculate in this because he
Yeah,
has had these injuries. But barring
sure,
another catastrophic injury, you're
sure,
right.
sure. Knock on wood, it
Yes.
doesn't happen. He's going
Yes.
to do it. I mean, Joey Bosa's guaranteed money was, I think it was 78 million in his first 3 years were fully guaranteed. So Nick Bosa, and I think he was at 26 million annually. TJ Watt took it to 28, 29. Nick Bosa is going to be right on 30. He's
Yep.
going to be right on 30 or he's going to cross it. And he's going to be the first one to do it. And the thing with Bosa is he has the advantage that Debo doesn't have because the 5th-year option really turns into kind of like a franchise tag today. So Nick Bosa is going to get, 20 plus $20 million, I think it is, fully guaranteed essentially. Yeah, no matter what, injury guarantee, no matter what, he's getting $20 million in his 5th year. And they're going to take his 5th-year option no matter what, because that cap hit is probably going to be less than what happens when they sign his deal. They would like to extend upon the 5th year rather than scratch out the 5th year and go from there. And at least that's how it would make sense, in my opinion, to do the contract. You have the exact number for Nick Bosa's 5th-year option?
No. Hold on. Let me see. Nick Bosa, where are you? I'll have it in 2 seconds. Clicked on Bosa. Now the page is loading, and it says it's going to be $17.8 million tentatively. 17.8.
Okay,
Pretty good.
17.8.
Yeah.
Still a lot of money, fully
Yeah.
guaranteed. And Watt waited till year 4. His brother waited till year 4. Look, I don't think that the market, other than injuries, is really going to change for Bosa, whether he signs it this year or next year. Maybe he can wait out and try to get his hands on a bit more money because now you get closer to the Amazon money kicking in,
Yeah.
and now and now you can get that money. But look, I think the Niners will try to get this done, especially this offseason, because they don't want this looming. But I don't think there's actually a lot of pressure on Bosa, quote unquote, to get it done. Because he's going to be the one to reset the market, whether he does it this year or whether he does it next year.
Real quick, what strikes me about this, the dichotomy here, I'm an English major, so like the comparison, the juxtaposition of Debo and Bosa. Debo is over here like inventing ways to get leverage. Bosa's like, I'll be there at OTAs. Like, I don't care. I mean, maybe he won't, and we don't know. But there is no urgency on his part. He's fine. I mean, from his perspective, he's like, you know what? Let's talk next year.
Didn't he miss the first couple days? Hasn't he missed the first couple days of voluntary OTAs before?
Yeah, because he's like in. Well, I mean,
he works out in Florida.
In 2020, they didn't really have him because it was the pandemic. In 2021, he was coming off an injury. In 2019, he was coming off an injury. So
okay, sorry.
I don't really know what he does. Yeah,
in 2021, wasn't he rehabbing away from the team,
from
the facility, and then he just showed up, whatever. So
he was smart. He didn't want to have a setback.
Yeah, but that's harsh. That is harsh. But what I wanted to say is Nick Bosa also, in a sense, beats to his own drum because his family knows the business, right? So he has his own dietitian, he has his own trainer, he has everything, and he kind of shows up ready to go every season. Basically, like he comes in perfectly fit. His weight is great, his flexible, all of these things. But he's not also just gonna. I don't know if he's just 100% guaranteed to show up to voluntary OTAs. I think he might come, but he works out by himself in Florida.
The reason I said he's also rich, I mean, the thing about him is, I feel like with the Watts too, the same family, they don't have to, they don't have to be like, I need the money now. This money is going to change my entire family. Like, nah, they're already millionaires. They can afford to wait a year and play for even more money. There's not a lot of people families in the NFL that are in that position. A lot of quarterbacks are, but not a lot of dudes come from money like Bosa does. So I'm just
Yeah,
that's another thing in his favor, in his
yeah. I
pocket.
mean, yeah. I look. I think that when you bring up this conversation, I'd like to say that, oh, 100% Nick Bosa's deal gets done this offseason. But honestly, given that his brother got signed after year 4, I don't know if Nick Bosa is just going to be pressing, because I don't think it makes that much of a difference to Nick Bosa whether he gets the money. In fact, I think he could probably get a couple more dollars if he waits maybe one more year and has another outstanding season, which if he's healthy, he's going to have it. So it'll be
Also, he's,
interesting to
he's
me.
made close to $29 million in the NFL, unlike Debo's made about 6. So
Yeah.
he comes from money, he has all this money, he
I
can
mean, he was
wait.
a second overall draft pick. Debo was a second round draft pick.
He
This
can
is a
wait.
different conversation. Yeah.
Totally different conversation. So, yeah, from the Niners perspective too, like they always want to have a team friendly deal. Well, with Bosa, how do you do that when he'd be willing? He's the exact opposite of Debo. Like Debo wants to get paid now. Debo would be in his best interest to wait until Terry McLaurin signs, DK Metcalf signs, AJ Brown signs. Like it would be in his best interest to wait. Apparently, he doesn't want to wait. He wants to get it over with. He wants some money now. Bosa, it's like, nah, it potentially could be like,
And
we
I'll
need to
throw
talk
this in.
about it.
I'll
Yeah.
throw this in though. I'll throw this in.
Yes.
Just as a detail to Joey Bosa's contract negotiation, that was the year he had the foot injury and he missed the first half of the season after his third year. So that maybe played a role because maybe the
Very
Chargers
smart.
weren't willing to dole it out then. But then Joey Bosa's first 2 years, he played just about every game and he had 10.5 sacks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if the Chargers tried to use anything against him in negotiations and were like, we're going to give you a little bit less and make it team friendly, Joey's like, no, and I'll prove it next year. And I think Bosa, if the Niners are like, well, you missed that year and you've had these injuries, we want to structure it in a way that kind of is like, no, absolutely not. That's what I think will happen. So the Niners are going to have to come correct. And even if they do, it might not be good enough.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. I see a lot of people, getting so upset about the Debo deal. Nick Bosa is just sitting back here waiting. But do you think Nick Bosa is not going to reset the market? I think Nick Bosa is going to set a 49ers record in terms of guaranteed money, and his play deserves it. They drafted him second overall, and they got everything they wanted.
In terms of like selfishness and greediness, like Bosa could far outpace Debo. The difference is that Debo went public. And if I bet his agent probably when he did it was like,
they better be greedy. Bosa and Debo.
Yeah.
If wanting your money, getting what's you're getting is getting paid. Excuse me, what you're worth. I can't talk this morning. Getting paid what you're worth is greedy. Then Bosa and Debo better be greedy because they better get paid.
Fred Warner wanted it. Fred Warner wanted to be the highest paid middle linebacker. Kittle wanted to be the highest paid tight end. Kyle Juszczyk has been the highest paid fullback for 5 years. I mean, these guys all have their egos. Why is Debo not entitled to his? Yeah. Why does everyone not want to take him down a peg? What is that? I know what it is.
Yeah, they throw out the quote unquote pure wide receiver argument. I don't know what a pure wide receiver is. Do you?
Like, because he's good at playing running back, he's somehow less.
See, that's the other thing, right? He had 882 receiving yards in 8 games. He didn't play running back because the 49ers needed to maximize his production. He played running back because the Niners weren't making the playoffs unless he played.
Because they're afraid to let Jimmy Garoppolo throw the ball more than 25 times a game, and they can't. They had to keep getting the ball to Debo. Matt says Vish without the Niners, Debo doesn't exist. That's why it behooves him to sport Niner gear, not vice versa. Few athletes invert that principle.
Without the NFL, Debo doesn't exist. But there's 31 other teams. The Niners don't make these athletes. He has 31 other opportunities to have a job. Like, because, a company gives me a job, right? And a company be without SI, Grant, do you think that you have to put SI all over your Instagram because without SI, Grant Cohn is not writing?
No. The only difference is, and I know it's weird, but again, the only difference is I'm no one's hero. Maybe I'm no one's hero. No one has my jersey. No one paid to have my likeness in their house. Football is a very strange. I'm not a fan. I'm not into that kind of thing. But there are fans who buy jerseys and go to games and get in fights and take this stuff really freaking seriously. And as long as you play by the rules like Bosa is, dude, you're God to them. You're a hero. You're the most important person in the world.
And I can't stand these rules.
I know, right? I know. I don't do this. I'm not a fan. But this is how most people interact with football. You're either a hero, you're either with us, and if you're with us, you're a hero. And once you're out, well, and I just feel like Debo is, anyway, this is a Nick Bosa look what Nick Bosa is doing, man. He has a much more troubling history of social media posts than Debo, right? But no one talks about that right now because he never took down pictures wearing Niner uniform. He's one of us. He's a hero. I'm just saying, it's how the game works, and it's one of the main reasons I'm not any fan. I think the whole culture.
I mean,
is
he did have
yeah.
I mean,
I
I don't get it. I don't think I'll ever get it. I guess this is just something that I just won't understand because logically it just doesn't make sense to me.
They're not role models. They're not heroes. They're just people. And once you start
they're
covering,
people doing a job.
Yeah, they're people doing a job. And once you get in the locker room and I'm doing a job and they're doing a job, like the whole idea of looking at them as heroes, it's like it's gone. It's just that's just some guy that doesn't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just some guy in his way.